Hello everyone, I'm Grace Liu from NYU Shanghai. Today I'm going to present our work, Watching the Watchman. This privilege for managed network services. This is a collaborative work with Al, Grace, and Vyas from CMU. We live in a complex world trends with remote work, constant stream of attacks like ransomware and DDoS attacks. Even today, many of you are working from home, and we are even doing this workshop remotely. This is a new normal. Increasingly, companies can no longer afford large in-house teams to manage their networks. They are outsourcing the management to external providers or managed service providers. For example, Enterprise X has a network problem that Zoom calls from Canon A are dropping off. And then it sends a troubleshooting ticket to provider M, and technician Joe from M helps to resolve the problem remotely. Managed service is already a huge market and growing rapidly as market reports suggest. But there is a catch. Attackers are getting smarter too. By breaching one provider, the attacker may gain access to networks of hundreds of enterprises. And we see a trend where the managed service providers are themselves becoming a new vector for attacks. And here are just a few example attacks. So imagine you are the CIO of an organization. You are faced with a fundamental dilemma. On one hand, you want to reduce the operating cost of managing your network by outsourcing. On the other hand, you know that this also introduces new security risks. Then the grand challenge is, can we have the best of both worlds? Secure outsourcing of network management. That's our goal in this work. Well, this vision sounds good, but turns out achieving it really hard in practice. To understand why, let us start with why is the current workflow is insecure. Imagine Enterprise X asks provider M to resolve a network problem. Essentially, to do this, the technician Joe from M needs root privileges on every single network router in X to try and look at logs and tweak things to resolve the issue. Yet, how can we expect it to be secure when we have given the keys to the kingdom? The root access is the root cause of evil. To address this problem, our high-level idea is to provide the MSP provider an isolated twin network environment that mimics the production network to resolve the problem. This prevents the provider from directly accessing the production network. This idea is promising, since twin network has been used in different areas. Unfortunately, traditional twin network fundamentally sacrifices security or fidelity. Consider a twin network that emulates the in-production network faithfully. By working on this twin network, the technician Joe can retrieve data from and push data to the production network. As a result, a malicious technician can indirectly retrieve sensitive data or install ransomware into a production network and cause security risks. Now that we understand the traditional twin network is not very helpful to achieve security, let me tell you how we address this challenge. Our key insight is to enforce least privilege by design. And we have developed a novel trusted twin network system called Heimdall. Heimdall has three key components: MSP privilege specification, twin network, and the policy enforcer. And its basic flow like this. First, the enterprise network administrator creates a specification using our provided interface. Second, a twin network is created and the technician is given to access to it to perform operations and finish the task. Finally, all changes made inside the twin network are verified by the policy enforcer. If there are no violations, the modified changes are enacted into the production network. Otherwise, the changes will be stopped by the policy enforcer. There are several immediate challenges that arise in getting usability, security, and good performance. For example, how to specify a fine-grained MSP specification efficiently. Asking an administrator to specify privileges for every network component is tedious and error-prone. For the twin network, how to emulate a production network securely and faithfully. Existing emulators just expose all the network components and configurations to the user and cannot achieve security. Finally, how to achieve least privilege even in the presence of attacks. Our system can be an attractive attack target, so how can we secure it? To address these challenges, we have built a proof of concept for traditional IT networks. We provide a simple but expressive domain-specific language interface for the administrator to specify the privileges. And second, we have built a secure twin network on top of JNS3 emulator. Different from the JNS3, our key idea is to decouple network emulation and presentation, and insert a reference monitor to mediate all actions in between to achieve security. Finally, we leverage network verification tools to verify all properties and run these tools inside the SGX enclave to further protect the system. To demonstrate its promise, we have evaluated 2 example networks with real configurations, one university network and one enterprise network. And we reproduce real issues described on Stack Exchange, such as OSPF and VLAN issues. Our early results show Heimdall can reduce the attack surface by 60%, which could dramatically help prevent the types of cyber attacks we are seeing in the headlines. While we have shown the effectiveness of Heimdall, there are many open questions we are still exploring. First, the inherent shortcoming of emulation means that the twin network is not a panacea and requires extra resources. So how can we determine whether a problem can be resolved in the twin and how to reduce the required resources? Second, the technician's privilege may need to evolve over time, likely escalating from more to less restrictive as they address the issue. So how can we differentiate from valid escalation requests from malicious attempts? Third, Heimdall expects the network administrator to provide a specification, which requires understanding intended network behavior. So how can we translate network resources and privileges into easy to understand behavior? Despite these challenges, we are really excited by this new breakthrough to create a new paradigm for secure outsourcing of network management. And we would love to hear your feedback on how we can make this work more impactful. Thank you for listening.